Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite leftist gaming podcast. It is roughly the middle of the month. We've flip-flopped a little bit, so we're maybe a little earlier than usual for our gaming backlog check-in. What have you all been playing? We'd love to hear what you all are playing, although it probably boils down to one of the major games that have been releasing in the month of October. The week and a half that's already elapsed in October. I mean, people are still reeling from September releases, I'm sure. But the hits keep coming, and they don't stop coming. As the great philosopher, I forget what the front man's name is.
Me too, and he's dead as well.
That's right. He died not that long ago. Jeez.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, we've hit that point where a lot of our childhood musicians are going to start dropping off quicker and quicker.
Just they've got their hearts are too big for their chests. You know, they love the world too much.
Lots of cocaine.
Steve Harwell, shout out.
So yeah, I'm catching up with. I'm into October games. You know, I didn't play Silksong. Never gonna play Silksong. I am
owned.
I'm waiting to play Hades 2 until at earliest November when I can get the physical copy. I know, Matt, you already pre-ordered, right? You pre-ordered the physical copy for Switch 2.
Indeed, I did.
Yeah, I want to get that, but that doesn't come out till like later in November.
I won't be playing Hades 2.
Did you not like the original one?
It's just like
roguelikes aren't your thing.
Yeah, it's just not my thing. I thought it was good for what it is, but it's just not my thing. Like if I'm gonna spend time on something,
from what I've read from fan sentiment and creator and critic sentiment, is that the game is peak and then drops off a fucking cliff. That the ending is just, they're like almost goes. It doesn't quite, but almost goes so far as to ruin the whole experience. I've heard multiple reviewers say, just hold it back to say that everything else is so good that it saves how bad the ending is to like from souring the whole experience. That makes me want to kind of see it for myself a little bit. I'm kind of right there with you that roguelikes are not my jam, so I have kind of wanted to stay clear from it in general, but. You know, gotta keep my horizons open. I like to have to play the breadth of like the best games of the year if I can.
So I have a philosophical question for you though, and it's that what I dislike about Hades and roguelikes is very similar to what I dislike about Metroidvanias and why I don't have any interest in playing Silksong either. What is different enough for you that you're willing to play the roguelike?
I think Hades is unique. I don't play any other roguelikes.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
I in general find it a genre that is off-putting. That I don't. And first, the connection between what I don't like about Metroidvanias is kind of similar, but a little bit different. Is that they're too repetitive in.
That's the whole
core.
issue for me. Yeah, it's too much backtracking.
Metroidvania is different in that backtracking is different than a new run, but it still kind of feels too much the same to me. That there's not enough like new stimuli here and there. Although with Hades, you've got new weapons and all those things. Yeah, there are plenty of things that people would come back and say, "Oh, there's new things that'll make each run different." But I'm essentially seeing the same thing every time. Right. Enemies are some variation of procedurally different, but it all kind of coalesces to a big mush that is essentially the same. Yes, their placements in the rooms and the boons you get are all different, and buildcraft is big and different, and that's not necessarily unique to Hades. That is kind of the definition of roguelikes as they exist today. But it doesn't do it for me. What compels me with Hades is I've always been a fan of Greek myth, and that everybody's hot, So, like, seeing the hot character art, kind of gets you forward. And the story was good in the first Hades, and it doesn't make me optimistic to hear that the story is pretty good and then completely shoots itself in the dick at the very end for Hades 2. So, I don't know. I'll probably get to it and dabble around in it. The fact that I could get it physical makes me feel like I want to play it at some point, because I couldn't get through Hades playing it on PC, like sitting at my desk trying to play through run after run. I just couldn't do it as kind of a main thing. But then when we were playing it for the podcast, I had the Steam Deck at that point, and it was more conducive to the run-based structure where I could do a run in the middle of the day like on a lunch break, put it away and not get super bored with it. So treating it like that, I think, is a little bit better. But yeah, it's just not a... Hades is a juggernaut of itself that will make me kind of get over my normal aversion to roguelikes. Like, I'm not going to play the million roguelikes that come out on Steam. Yeah. You know? Yeah. The indie deck builder roguelike. Fuck off. Get out of here. Not into that. Not into it whatsoever.
Okay, but that's reasonable.
But what I was playing today, we'll get into what I've largely been playing, because it's what you've been playing, Andrew, and we'll get to that as the larger discussion. But I wanted to start off with what I just started playing last night and has already kind of started, tickling at the right kind of brainstem juices. Was the reason I was like 10 minutes late to start recording, is I was fiddling with inventory management and job classing and ability unlocking and whatnot. I did bite the bullet and start playing Final Fantasy Tactics. And I was like texting the group chat yesterday, like as I finished and platinumed Ghost of Yotei yesterday. And that's obviously spoilers, what probably most of the episode will be talking about. But I was like, I've got this list of things I want to play. Final Fantasy Tactics is there, but honestly was a bit intimidated by it from some things that I had read recently, that there's like some notorious skill checks, or skill check is like kind of not the right word, because it's so much more cumulative, and that it's not that it's like you've got to play this one battle just right. It's you have to have been building your party correctly from 10 hours ago in order to overcome this hurdle. Supposedly, the Ivalice Chronicle remaster has smoothed some of those edges slightly, in that you can save more frequently. There used to be like series of battles that you would get stuck in and would give you a save point after each stage, but then would dump you right into the next one. And if you get stuck on the second of 3, you're soft locked, because you only had like that save slot, and you're fucked. Yeah. And you're fucked. Now, apparently, you have the ability to kind of back out at any point.
Load an earlier save.
Yeah, or it's like that you can abandon those story battles.
Got it. And
could then go somewhere else and grind and build your team up. So you wouldn't have to, in the original, you could be fucked and would have to just completely start a new save. And so I'm like, that just sounds stressful.
How many hours of game time in?
When you get to those points?
Yeah. Like, how much could you have initially sunk into this to have to restart back?
The first one is like in the first chapter, as far as I know. There is one as early as the first chapter, but then there are some that are like in chapter 3, and that could be quite a while, particularly if you are grinding a lot and trying to optimize a team. But maybe you optimize it in the wrong direction, because here gets to like the kind of nitty gritty of what is both fascinating about this game and was also very intimidating. And I was thinking about it this way. It's like, we all know that gaming in general, stereotypically or not, is kind of a male-catered space, right? That it is both in terms of how things are presented, how they're marketed, the breakdown of audience skews heavily male. But here is a game, finally, for the mentally unstable white woman. A core mechanic of this game revolves around your knowledge of astrology and the zodiac. So there's a big deal with, apparently you can kind of ignore it mostly, but the biggest one you want to pay attention to is that your healer is compatible with ideally most of the party, but in particular your main character. And they have these affinity charts based on the zodiac and astrology. And so last night, as I'm just starting to dig into this, me as a man who's not involved in any of that shit, doesn't even know the symbols offhand. And on character profiles, like when you're recruiting like mercenaries or whatever, before like real party members have joined, all they give is the symbol. And so I'm flipping back between a list of the symbol and their affinity thing. And so I have actually, to make it easier for myself, I've printed out a chart. And here, I don't know if it shows up.
Amazing.
That's what we're dealing with, folks.
Amazing.
For viewers of the video version of the podcast, they can see this, but for audio listeners, it is this complex wheel of interconnections and relationships of the bad compatibilities, the good ones, and then the best/worst. And so best and worst are gender based. So it's like you have to input your birthday or a birthday for the main character without an explanation, by the way.
Hell yeah.
But apparently the ideal zodiac for Ramza, the main character, is to be a Capricorn. And so you want his healer to be a female Cancer. So it's the opposite sign, but the opposite gender. And so it's like the best compatibility is the opposite sign, opposite gender. The worst compatibility is the opposite sign, same gender. So you don't want any male Cancers on your squad, or else you're fucked. But it's like it ties into how
Basic.
those like roadblocks, because there are several of them are about like Ramza, the protagonist, has to fight a one-on-one battle at these various stages. And it's like, if you have a bad Zodiac matchup with the enemy, well, you're kind of fucked. Good luck, buddy. Type of thing. So that's why
did you end up making your main a Pisces?
No, I did not do my actual birthday. I did not do my actual birthday. I had looked up, after hearing all these things, I'm like, what do I need to know going into this game? So I made him a Capricorn. But it's like, yeah, this fucking chart here, I've printed out to have at my disposal during playtime as I'm recruiting mercenaries. And so that's what I was doing before logging on, was like, I had recruited some people. I farmed a couple battles to get there. Most of them, and I may need to switch one of them back to get it on her as well. It's like to start them off on Squire so that they can get the job point boosting passive ability, so that they get more job points as you farm, to then switch them to the class that will get them to hopefully a higher class, and then you've got a multi-class to be able to get to the advanced classes. And it's the autism brain itching.
This sounds so fun to me.
It does really kind of, get to that really kind of the nitty-gritty crunchy stuff that I do like at a certain experience, but like I have to be in the right headspace for it. And I think Matt's guidance was correct for me. Like, after finishing and platinuming Yotei, which we can now move into, for me was largely a brain off game, a flow state game. So it was like a zen brain off experience of I'm fully present in combat, hyper focusing on parries and stuff like that. That was like the build I was going for. But everything else was just kind of brain off, flow state, just immersing myself in exploration. Whereas this is now, combat is less, despite it being a tactics game, it's a little bit more, I can be a little bit more free with it, but then it's just engaging me intellectually in everything else that I'm doing.
Ben, what I'm hearing is the next time we get on this podcast, everything behind him will have been changed out for crystals and various like harmonizing bowls.
Yeah.
And he'll be a full crystal mommy. That's what's gonna happen.
There's like, yeah, dude, you gotta stimulate your root chakra.
3 different.
Gotta get a finger up the ass. Stimulate that root chakra. Ground yourself.
I grounded myself.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm very early days in that. I've done like the first 2 story missions and am now just kind of grinding to kind of get my team at that base level of setup before I'm progressing any further. It makes me sad though, Matt, in these like random battles that I'm doing to farm, I'm often fighting these like wild chocobos, and before they get KO'd, when they're like really low damage, they give this really sad face, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad that I'm beating these sad little chocobos.
It doesn't impact me, having played the modded version of Dark Souls where every enemy is limping Sif.
No, you're a monster, sir. But I just get this sad face, and it makes me cry. Yeah. So, Andrew, I've said now multiple times, I finished Yotei yesterday. What point are you at with trying to avoid story spoilers? Because Matt's committed to waiting till the Legends.
Dude, my methods work. I wait to play all these games, and then they get updates and DLCs and everything else, so I get the better version.
No, it's totally fair.
I wait to play Claire Obscure, and then they're releasing a post-launch
Let's be clear. He says he's waiting to play Claire Obscure. Will he ever actually play the game?
Yeah, like 3 years from now.
Okay, if you say so.
But we can talk about it, I think, without
care.
spoiling Matt
Say
too
Clair
much.
Obscure Expedition 69 will just be coming out, and he'll just be starting to dabble.
I mean, Nioh 3's coming out, and that's why I started Nioh 1.
Yeah.
You can't hurt me with spoilers. There's nothing that can impact me. By the time I play this next year, it'll be completely gone from my brain.
Yeah, the brain will have been wiped clean.
I've explored the first main area all the way, essentially, and now I'm in
the grasslands area.
the grasslands, and now I'm in I did a little in the plains, but I've mostly gone up to the north.
You went after
west.
you went after the Kitsune. Are you gonna think you're gonna mainline that one to the end of it, or just to try to get the weapon?
I think I'm gonna try and just get the weapon first, and then kind of circle back. I'm going to the weapon, so I got the Yari, and now I'm going to get that one, and that's kind of how I've been going through my playthrough. It's this game does such a great job of weaving in just random encounters, making them all feel like really organic and important to the storyline in a way that I don't even like the best examples of that. I don't think do it as well as Yotei has at this point in my playthrough. Tsushima did it pretty well, but there still felt like, particularly with the masters in Tsushima, I felt like it was a little bit less organic. And this just like, you walk up to a random, village that's burned out and you rescue the guy, and then he provides you with a key part of one of your, Yari improvement goals. Like, it's just, there's a really organic way to how the exploration serves the story and like kind of your main path, just even incidentally, that I think they've really done a good job with so far, at least in my...
I'll be interested to see how your opinions might change as you get a broader picture of how it lays out. And it may come, honestly, if I have a criticism of it, it may come down to actually just like my play style and how I played it. The order in which I did things, where oftentimes I felt like maybe it wasn't signposted as well. This is like, I guess my complaint about it is that I couldn't tell when the main story was going to take me. None of it's really a point of no return, but that it is essentially to a place that I didn't want to be, like too advanced before I have been able to fully upgrade or get abilities that I wanted in order to see major encounters. There will be along each kind of these kind of sub quest lines, main quests that you can do and will serve exploring, and opening up the map will take you to areas. Because what I found, what I would do is I would clear essentially everything. Maybe I'd get to the new region, I'd go, and it's always a good idea to go and do, usually the first main mission in an area is going to be either at or clearing out like an inn or just kind of a hub of something. It's where all your vendors eventually end up, and that's just a good idea to clear that out so that they're all there and you're not having enough. Even though fast travel is seamless, no load times, it's really, you can fast travel the whole thing for all those, and it doesn't matter. You could go explore Teshio Ridge, the big northern area, without going to the Red Crane Inn and do all those things and have all, never go explore fully, never go to any of those inns, and just go back to that first hub. It's exceptionally convenient. But I felt like I just like it, the signposting, as I said, I couldn't tell, should I be prioritizing? I was always worried, paranoid, that if I go and commit to this main story, that I'm going to be underprepared. So what it ended up being is I would clear out basically the entire region.
Okay.
I would do all, and I went region by region. I didn't go, and maybe it is advisable to kind of dip into one and the other to at least get the weapons. Although they do largely keep it pretty well contained. You're gonna find some shield enemies in the plains that, yes, would be easier if you had the Kusarigama to break their shields. But there aren't so many. They aren't as predominant of an enemy type as they are in Teshio Ridge, where that's the main weapon that you're getting. The majority of enemies you're facing in the region are tied to the weapon of that region. So,
but I mean, even Tsushima did that, where you would have enemies of multiple types throughout the area that, you're not going to have the stance for initially. Yeah. And it's to show you that it's, you need something else to fight them. and that what you have like makes it a lot harder. Yeah. And to teach you like, oh, when I get water stance, that's what I should be using against. I don't remember exactly. That's what I should be using against the shield guy.
I think they were spear guys. Yeah. I think water was the spear guys.
Yeah. But it's to show you that like brute forcing isn't the way to handle.
Yeah. But they don't overload you. And to be like, oh yeah, like you're going to hit roadblocks in every area if you don't have all. You can do it as I did and handle it region by region by region. And there is enough game there to not feel like, oh, I like never really got to use the Kusarigama because I got that one last. I still had that for quite a bit of my playthrough and didn't feel like it was kind of lacking. Like you're the main boss in that one is not going to use a shield that you need to have that weapon.
I do agree with you on the posting, and that's why I have been hesitant to like advance the main storyline quests a little bit. So I probably will move quicker on those now, hearing that from you, just because
it's like you can do like 2 or 3, I'd say,
right,
and then kind of hold off on them. The system would be open up the new area, unlock the hub, explore everything, maybe prioritizing the new weapon, prioritize the new weapon, but explore everything on the way there. Do the main weapon, because each new weapon will then have further things like you can unlock the new like ultimate technique if you've cleared out all the encampments, and then you have to like follow the main story as well. But I would like clear everything out. And then it would just be mainlining the main story, and I would just be fast traveling everywhere because I've unlocked all the places. I've unlocked everything. I've found everything. So the pacing felt weird to me, but it was like of my own creation. But so maybe if you're going to level a criticism at it, it's like, again, I feel like, and I don't have an answer of how they tell you, yeah, maybe you should check.
It's hard to do because, I'm okay with that trade-off. Because I think this game does a great job of giving you a reason to actually explore the open world they've created. And I don't often feel that way with open world games. Like the open world aspect of it is often where it just feels bloated. But because they do it this way, it gives it more heft. It makes it more interesting. It makes me actually want to go to like each fire, even if I know that's probably just going to be a quick encounter or something. Like it still has more purpose than the more checkbox activities.
There are a few things that I want to talk about, and I'll mention them now so that I don't forget to get everybody's opinions. But I want to circle back slightly to what you had said about what I really liked were these kind of emergent, very little minor random encounters. But I do want to make sure we talk about like how we feel about what is the breadth of these open world activities, and how we feel about side quests. And because I have kind of interesting opinions on how it compares to Tsushima. But my greatest interest in what I think was handled actually probably the best from Tsushima were those very little random encounters. Maybe it's just a group of bounty hunters that are after you. Maybe it's somebody who will have a new piece of information on one of your leads. It can be these really small snapshots of things. Like they're never very long, and I'm even talking about things that don't even become the actual little side quests. They are like, there's one of them, it's like in Teshio Ridge. One of the things you're trying to do, if you're trying to go for the platinum, is find these little puzzle boxes. And the one that you're maybe going to not find because it's not near a shrine that you have liberated from an encampment or whatever, it's one of these just random encounters. It's you come across these 2 Ninetales who are fighting over it. They've killed a third and they're fighting over it, and you just stumble upon them and you fight them and you take it and you get the last one. So it's these random little things that felt so organic, that didn't just feel like, oh, here's just another random battle that's come up. It's got just enough little flavor to it to make it feel, what these games succeed at the best is just this feeling of immersion, this feeling that you are just kind of existing in the world. And how they do that with their exploration and the little tricks like following the wind and the birds and the foxes and stuff like that are, highlights of what we can call the franchise now. But what did you think about the individual activities, and in particular how they compare to Tsushima? We've got some that return and some that are either substitutions or additions. So how'd you feel about them?
I largely find them fairly fun. I'm sure later in my playthrough, as I did in Tsushima. I'll find them just they hit their point of saturation, but like that's me as a gamer in general. I hit my point of saturation sooner than a lot of people, and I don't really count that against most of my experiences. But I enjoy the Bamboo Strike is, I think, a classic. It's a great mini game.
Why is that one so controversial? People,
I don't know.
So many people say they hate it. I guess there's an accessibility issue with it. People don't like rapid button presses. There is a setting to make that not a thing. And there was a final, like my final Bamboo Strike was a left-handed one, and I could not wrap my head around it. It's objectively not hard, you know? I knew the pattern, but just like my brain just couldn't do it. And that's an interesting side note. That was one of my favorite bits of the whole game. And it speaks to that level of immersion of when you're learning it is the best. It's the first, and it is the best of the sensei quest lines to get the new weapons, of this immersion of training this new weapon. So it's all about making your left arm stronger. And so it's like the training montage type of thing. But it starts off, you're doing a Bamboo Strike, and it's impossible. I'm sure there are some people out there who could do it, but it's like you're doing all the left side face buttons, but also like it's the L3 that really fucks with you. But it's all about how, as the montage is going, you see it getting easier. It is eventually gets easier to the point where it's just the D-pad, and it's like super easy. You can just kind of like sweep your finger across to do it. And it was just like this great little feeling, like to see, oh my God, I'm struggling so much. And then here now it's like, yes, I have gotten better at it. But really it's just, they've just made it easier for you.
They just made it easier. Yeah,
but then the final one is, it's like there's like a note left, and it's like a real warrior can use their left hand or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, it was giving me a cramp.
Oh yeah.
I had to turn on the accessibility setting for it. I had to turn on because again, I knew the pattern, I just couldn't do it in time, so I had to turn that on.
I used a two-hand technique for the left side, so I had pointer finger and thumb on L1 and L3, and then I used my other hand for the face buttons.
Oh man. But yeah, so what about, that was a little bit of a digression, but yeah, some of the other side activities.
So yeah, I'm a fan of the Bamboo Strike. I mean, I think the fox dens are fine. They're inoffensive. It's a worthwhile like reward, and I feel the same way when it comes to the hot springs. The wolf dens I really like. I think that's a good addition. It's a fun way to level up your furry pal and that ability in combat. And I like killing the bad guys and freeing the wolves. Mm-hmm. So I'm a big fan of that.
That's a callback to Tsushima Iki Island.
Oh really? That's the part I didn't
wasn't
play.
Wolves, it was a whole bunch of animals. You'd have cats, monkeys, deer.
You know, I find the paintings inoffensive. It's a fun little use.
That's the one that I honestly got tired of, and that kind of was, in my opinion, undercut its effectiveness. That's the one that's the real swap, right? They've swapped out no more haikus. It's now the paintings. And they're meant to accomplish the same thing of like your appreciation for nature and for the landscapes, the beautiful landscapes that Sucker Punch have produced here, right? And it was more effective for the haikus because you are visually picking out and reflecting upon the individual elements of nature, whereas yes, the paintings are inspired by these vistas, but then what happens is you kneel down on the mat. You first, for a second, look at the thing before you. She says a line or whatever, and then just the canvas comes up and takes up the whole screen. And it's the cool idea of using the touchpad to do the strokes. My stroke game was insane, folks. But it completely undercuts what it's trying to do. You're only looking at this dotted line, tracing the dotted line, instead of actually appreciating and immersing the beautiful recreation of nature that you see before you. So in my mind, it completely undercuts what it's trying to do.
I think that's a fair criticism. It's definitely, I do not like it. I prefer the haiku as well.
So it was cool the first times you see it, right. and it's great when you're the opening of the game, when you're using the touchpad to write the names of the Yotei 6 on your revenge sash. Like, it's a cool thing. But it's like, okay, the novelty is gone, and now it's just I can't actually see the cool nature. My one thing that maybe will give you a little bit of hope is that you're saying, oh, maybe you're going to get tired of these things as you go along. And it shouldn't be, what I'm about to say shouldn't be confused with saying that there isn't a lot of these things. There's a lot in the world, but it never felt bloated to me. Each region felt like there weren't that many of these different things to do. The most things you're going to find are the altars for your skill points, and those are just most of them are just in encampments. Yeah, you're going to find the ones scattered around the world, but like you're going to find like maybe a couple fox dens, a couple wolf dens, a couple of the paintings, a couple hot springs, bamboo strikes in each region. It felt dense without feeling bloated. It felt like there was always something to do, but it never really felt tiring to do them, because it was like, yo, I haven't done a bamboo strike in 10 hours because I've done all the two that are in this region, you know? Yeah, there may be a couple more than that, but like, I think it never felt like it was that bloated.
I think that's fair, and I think that's part of where it's also it just continues to lend to that making exploring fun, and doing these things isn't just like a list. Like by removing that just like something to check off on a list, it just makes it a little bit more engaging in a way where, like, for instance, I don't know, I think it's not the last open world, but like I'm just going back to like Spider-Man 2. Like
find all the spider bots.
Oh my god, that shit gets so tiring so fast.
A super easy platinum to do, but was also all those activities that kind of suck.
Yeah, they suck. I do actually have a question for you as someone who's beaten the game. Is there enough skill points to effectively unlock everything fairly easily?
Everything. There's just enough to unlock everything, because there are a couple that unlock automatically as the story progresses. Okay, so that's another thing. And Matt, do you remember how I'm trying to rack my brain, and of course I could have Googled this, but I'll use you as my Google instead. How did skill progression work in Tsushima?
What do you mean?
Like, how did you unlock skills? How did you get skill points or things like that? How did that work?
It was through when you would hit certain nodes on the, what's it called? Your infamous meter or whatever. As you would gain relevance, each node would give you a point, and then there would be some missions that would give you points as well.
Okay.
And there was more than enough. I think when I finished, I had like 15 to 20 points sitting in my pocket at the end.
Yeah, so I don't know which system I like better, to be honest. I think that the way in Yotei, it more directly is like, yes, it is 100% incentivizing you to explore, because I don't think I had any left over. I'm pretty sure I found the last shrine or liberated the last thing before I had been able to unlock. I had like there were two nodes that were locked behind story progression, and then it turned out the one unlocked from story progression, and then it was just making that thing better. And so I was then able to go into the growth menu or whatever and just unlock it at that point. But there were no more skill points after that. So it's like there are exactly as many skill points as you need to unlock everything. So then that leads me into, I've seen this criticism around, and I haven't decided how I feel about it, because it kind of would fundamentally alter how the game is designed. And that could be, maybe, it needs to be designed differently. The people are like, they didn't like the skill tree being just unlocking everything, that they would have preferred more build craft. It's the fact that every person's Atsu, if you're doing all the exploration, every person's Atsu will be the same. It's just that you are all unlocking every ability all the time. There is no ability to specialize in a certain playstyle. It is not really a skill tree, in that you are making choices, forgoing some things in favor of others. The problem with that, if you were to go with something like that, it completely undercuts the rock, paper, scissors mechanic of the weapons and stances. So
I think it's just like, that's fair to want that in a game. That's just not what this game is. I don't know what to tell you. But it's ability upgrades, not a skill.
Yeah, but what it did for me is that I didn't care about a lot of the upgrades. It's like the outside of the melee ones where you want to unlock the full skill set of the weapon class, I didn't really care about, I don't care about upgrading my horse and upgrading the horse charge speed. I'm not doing a ranged build. So long as I've unlocked the ability for concentration to be able to do a quick assassination headshot, when somebody's gonna catch me out, I don't really care about the ranged ones. Like,
Yeah, I've left both of those at that point, and they'll be the last ones. Like everything
Yeah.
else will be full before.
yeah,
I do
it's
those.
like it left me feeling more about like I don't care about most of these things. That's where it felt the most checklist to me. It's like, yes, I'm exploring and finding the the altars to get the skill points just to check the box of yes, I've unlocked everything. And it made me, that system made
So
me
I'll ask
care
you-
about none of the skills outside of the weapon skills.
But like,
Which
to
is
me,
not
it's
good.
more-
Which is not good. Like, the fact that you have to unlock things that I don't care about is not good. You know, if you're going to make me unlock it, it should feel good. It
That's
should feel
fair.
good to unlock it. It should have a real tangible effect on everything.
That's fair. I would say like particularly the horse ones shouldn't just be like
And there's only like 4 of them.
there's literally 4 of them. But I'll say like I don't have an issue with that because I find it fun to at least choose where to invest early. Like, oh, I think this will be helpful as I'm still like playing at this point in the game, like kind of strategizing around that aspect of it.
Yeah, I prioritized some like the chain assassinations.
Right. Things like that. Parrying
Those-
stuff like those things. But to me, I don't hold it against the game because I just don't think that's what this game is. Like, this is an open world. While it's open world, it's still almost a streamlined story. Like it's like God of War with just a bigger area to explore. Like, and that works the same way if I remember correctly.
Some people have said like, oh, then it would have been better served as a linear action game. I think where I come down on it is like, I'm fine keeping that structure. Just make the other abilities feel as good as the weapon ones.
Yeah.
And I think that was a failure. I think essentially everything outside of the weapon and assassination trees, it's just like didn't feel any difference from it. It didn't feel like a reward to unlock those things.
I think so you have the weapons, you have I don't mind
Even the wolf
like,
ones didn't feel very good.
I think those are. I like them.
Because the only ones that are actually effective, and it's kind of time gated, you have to like get far enough to really make it good, ties into one of the elements that I really loved about the game is the use of the shamisen. It has these narrative elements, but then you will learn these different songs that's what then you use. Instead of, these were skills that you unlocked in Tsushima that also kind of felt shitty. That you had to spend points on these things to like, oh, I have to unlock a skill to be able to find bamboo strikes. In this, instead, you learn a specific song, you play the song, and the wind will direct you to undiscovered things there. And so there's one for a Song of the Wolf, and it will either show you to wolf dens, or you upgrade the wolf skill tree far enough, and you stand outside of an enemy encampment, play the Song of the Wolf, and she'll show up. And will start assassinating people with you. And yeah, it's basically everything you're unlocking for the wolf is just like, yeah, the wolf stays around longer or has higher chances of showing up randomly. It doesn't feel tangible. The only tangible thing you felt with the wolf is like its ability to assassinate something and the ability to call it at will. Yeah, basically is the only things that felt tangible. Everything else just felt like roadblocks to pad. That's where the bloat in the padding can be, you can kind of label it that way. So, again, I'm fine with that system. Just make every single skill point feel worthwhile.
Yeah. No, I think that's the right criticism there. And that's more than fair. There's, we've spent a good amount of time talking about Yotei, but the last thing I just want to talk about is the response online to some of this.
Well, dude, it's pissed everybody off. It's pissed off everybody across the spectrum. You got to give it credit for that. It's uniting everybody in
success. That's successful.
No matter whether you're left or right, you wanted to boycott this game for some reason, yet it's still, it recouped its development costs on day 2.
Amazing.
On day 2 of sales. So yeah, as we love to say, consumer activism works no matter which side you're on. It works, folks. Definitely worth your time and effort.
Crazy.
Rather than fucking organizing real power with your community and your comrades. Jesus
don't get
Christ.
silly. Don't get
Jesus
silly,
Christ, people.
But one of the I don't even really want to wade too far into this. There was just one thing that made me laugh, and it's someone tweeted a clip of Atsu rolling in water and not getting wet. And
which she does. I was like, I like just proved it to myself. I'm like, I ran through water and she's dripping. Yeah, she maybe dries very quickly, but like,
yeah. And it's just, that is the most, exactly. Who cares? That is the most, you are the most annoying gamer. Please shut up. Like, that is why games take so long and have these ridiculous budgets, because you're demanding shit that doesn't even like matter. It's just, why do you just have fun, please?
Not everybody has GTA money. Everyone's like, look at Red Dead 2, which came out 10 years ago. And it's like, not everybody has the time and money that fucking Rockstar does.
Right, and guess what? I'd argue this game is a better cowboy game that's more fun, at the very least, than Red Dead Redemption 2.
Real, this is a Western.
Yeah, 100%. This is 100%.
Even the music, yes, is the score is predominantly defined by the shamisen, but the tunes are they're literally, it's a Western.
It's a Western. This is absolutely a Western. And it's fantastic. I am loving it. I am having so much fun. It is doing everything I want. The combat's great. The visuals are great. I want to explore the world, and that's all I ask of this game. And
again, that's what I have to say is, like, to have a platinum for an open world game in just around 50 hours, that's a solid, they've hit, I think, the scope perfectly. It is not too big, not too small. Again, the density of things feels good without being overbearing in repetition and listy, checklist stuff. It felt, the balance on all that felt good. I still think they fucked up the parry window, though. That's the last thing I'll say.
I don't know that I fully agree, but there are sometimes it frustrates me.
I think they fucked it up.
I think you have a skill issue.
No, because here's the thing. I mean, no, I did fine. I adjusted. I adapted. But like, I even unlock. You get the charm. There's an armor and there's a charm that like improves parry time. Yeah. It doesn't. It's bullshit. That's bullshit. Maybe by like a frame. The armor does the most. The one armor does the most. But the charm, bullshit. Doesn't do shit. Like I would switch between armor sets. One has it on, one doesn't, and no difference. Nothing at all. Yeah, maybe I'm not a real gamer because I didn't play it on lethal, but I did play it on hard and found it challenging and only slightly frustrating at times.
I'm playing on hard. It's the right difficulty level for me.
Yeah, Matt, how has this discussion, that obviously apologize for us dominating the conversation here. Yeah. How does this make you more excited to play it eventually? Has it not changed your opinions at all? Are there concerns?
No offense to anyone, but there's no impact.
Are there
I don't really care about reviews or anything like that before I go and play a game of my own choice. Like, I don't watch any videos or read any critiques before I go through and paint my own picture. So this has not changed any of my...
What are you most excited to see for yourself based off of maybe something that we said in the conversation, or that just from what you've seen of the game itself presented? What remains the big draw for you?
I'm just interested in the weapon less.
I want to be real. Like, people like who complain that like the weapon variety is a step down from stances. I disagree. I think it serves the exact same function with potentially a higher skill ceiling, because there are more movesets to learn. I would still probably rank weapons. I'd probably go katana, Kusurigama, dual katana and Odachi are like kind of neck and neck, and then Yari at the way bottom in terms of what's the most fun to use.
I love the throwing.
Oh, that's the best thing.
That was a great addition to the combat.
It's the best thing they added. It feels so good to pick up a weapon and chuck it at somebody.
It's sick. It's sick. Seeing that in the trailers and feeling it in game, and it's like just as cool as it looked. The audio and haptic feedback of chucking a weapon at somebody is fucking awesome. So good. So beautiful. Good. All right, Matt. Andrew was saying earlier you have started playing Nioh. But before you talk about Nioh, tell me about this Fire Emblem mobile game that you were playing. Should I play it? Is it gacha slop?
No? Question mark?
Yes, but it doesn't have to be. It's like, almost any gacha game doesn't have to be slop if if it's done well, or like you don't necessarily have to engage with the bad parts of it.
So it's Fire Emblem Heroes, so it's the older one, not the newer one that they just released a couple weeks ago.
What's the difference?
So the newer one is would they say it's basically like a social deduction on top of tactics game. You'll be playing with other players and two people on
so like Amogus social deduction, that shit?
Sort of. So yeah, you'll have like a team of 4 or 3, and 2 will be working together, 1 will be working against you, and you have to figure out who the person working against you is. And apparently in like the tutorial, it's very obvious. It's like, my other teammate is dead. I wonder who the person I'm supposed to be.
So is this new one?
Lightning bolts.
Is this new one? Is that
Shadows.
Fire Emblem Shadows?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so what's good about Heroes though?
I mean, it's mostly just like a condensed Fire Emblem game on your phone. Like you do smaller scale teams. I think most I've got is like 4 right now. The maps fit on a phone screen, so they're smaller in scale overall. But it's just a tactical game you can play on your phone to kill time when you're slowly dying at work.
Are you playing? Is it other people, or is it just just PV?
Who's your number one waifu?
So my team currently is, I don't remember her name, character brand new to this game, who you get at the beginning. Dimitri, who I pulled because this game's been out forever. You get like 1 billion free gacha pulls at the beginning because they do obviously it's like each time a new one rolls out, you get a free pull, and then you have like a certain amount of orbs you would spend to get more pulls, and you start out with a bunch of orbs because the game's been out forever. But my team is...
That just reminded me of something I heard somebody say that is really funny, a really funny happenstance of joining like a gacha game later in its lifespan. Like somebody was talking about it with like the Uma Musume, the horse girl, the pretty derby one, where they're like, where the developers will do something to fuck it up and make people mad, and will then we'll give them here's my I'm sorry currency. Or in the game in Uma Musume, it's the carrots. Here's 15 I'm sorry carrots, and so somebody who just like comes in later after the fact or who has been paying attention will just like, sure, I'll take the free I'm sorry. No impact to me.
Like when we played Helldivers, and you would log in after like a month, and you'd get all the bonds that have collected.
Imagine if we were to log in today. Do you think there's a statute of limitations on that?
Probably not. But yeah, so you get a bunch of free gacha pulls. So my team is overly stacked with a 5-star Dimitri, because the characters, you get a bunch of different characters from all the different Fire Emblem games. The idea,
is that like a diamond LeBron? Put this in terms I understand.
What I was getting to is, so like the higher quality characters are 5-star. So like your Dimitris, your Edelgards, you're like your real characters that you care about. And like the farther down the list of like, oh boy, there's stable boy number 7. He's, a 3-star.
It's pretty good like for a stable boy.
I don't know if it goes below 3-star. I don't think I've ever pulled anything below 3-star. It still has the rock, paper, scissors mechanic, but they've changed it up a little bit where it's color based. So like red, green, blue. Easier for a phone screen.
And for the baby brain people playing mobile games, yeah.
Well, just easier to read on screen, too, because the symbols are pretty small. But I've got a Dimitri, Ray, and Sothis, and Alir is my big squad.
How many Fire Emblem games are there?
Say that again?
Decent amount.
How many?
Yeah.
A lot.
Like, are they like in the 10s?
Yeah. I don't think it's quite to 20, but like, because there are a bunch of... I was going to
say it's probably somewhere around 12 to 15.
There are a bunch of spin-offs.
Because they also did...
There are like 5 on the DS generation alone.
Because they also did a lot of... for the handheld ones, they did the Pokemon where there would be 2 of the same game.
Yeah, like the Conquest and like Fates or whatever.
Conquest.
Yeah, are like 2 opposite. But there are a lot. Yes, there are quite a lot.
And a lot of them were Japan exclusive. They didn't really come to America for a long time. Mm-hmm. That was the whole funny thing in Smash Brothers Melee when you unlock Marth and Roy and you're like, who the fuck are these characters?
I mean, it's like one of those, Japan-centric franchises that didn't get big in the West
until GameCube with Path of Radiance.
Sure. I was going to say really didn't become... big and mainstream in the West until Three Houses.
But that was
seven more years of Three Houses discourse. Let's go.
Yeah, it's because That's because it had dating elements. They've done
It's because
multitude.
we're horny. I mean, let's not pretend that horniness is like geographically exclusive.
Certainly not.
So I don't know if I'm ever in the market for a mobile game, maybe I'll give it a shot. But the likelihood
It's
of
good
that
enough
happening,
to idle on. I think I've only put a couple hours into it.
But so what? Now that you have been freed from the shackles of weekend work schedule, what have you been able to play recently?
Touch Grass Simulator. Outside of that, started Nioh on Friday night. Only like 3 hours in total.
How many missions does that equate to?
1.5.
And can you save? You can save mid mission.
Yeah, there's it'd be like a bonfire, but they're like prayer houses, and it auto saves there.
What are your thoughts on combat so far? How's it feel?
It's fine. I've started to figure out the flow of how combat works, because it's not really Soulsy as much as people want it to be Soulsy. There's like Souls-like elements to some of it. Like you have a key bar which functions as your stamina meter, but unlike your stamina meter, if you fully deplete it, you leave yourself open for a vicious attack. I don't know if it's got an actual name. Basically, you're going to die. You're stuck standing still, can't do anything, and then the enemy will get a free, like a visceral on you.
A crit streak.
Yeah. So you have to really pay attention to your stamina usage, which is why they have it's called like a key blast, which when you do a flurry of attacks, you'll get a visual marker where there'll be like a blue aura that'll show up around your character. If you tap R1 while the blue aura is around you, you regain a portion of the stamina or the key that you'd expended instantly instead of having to wait for it to. So it kind of allows for a more instead of slowing down the combat, allows you to speed it up a little bit. It took me a while to get the balance of 1, 2, 3, key blast, stay in the combat instead of 1, 2, 3, dodge out.
Did you ever play Wolong?
No, that's on the list. I wasn't going to play any of those games until I played Nioh 1 and 2.
No, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you had or not. But in terms of Nioh, like I've heard people more describe it as that it really does lean more towards the character action DMC.
Well, I mean,
flow of
Team
combat.
Ninja, notably for Ninja Gaiden before that. And so there's a lot of that in there as well.
Right.
It's funny to listen to you talk about Yotei does weapons instead of stances. Nioh does both. Nioh gives you a choice between swords, dual katana, kusarigama, odachi, axes, spears, and 2 other that I'm forgetting that I think are DLC included with the complete edition that I'm playing on PS5. But then each one also has high, medium, low stance. And high stance is a heavy offensive, uses more of your ki, but focuses more on damage. Mid stance is a balanced stance that focuses more directly on defense and blocking. And then low stance is a dodge-centric stance where all of your attacks use less ki, do less damage to give you more window and opportunity to dodge out.
How much of it all is going on at one time? How intense is not just resource management, but like how combo focused is it? How often are you switching stuff? Is it rock paper scissors in that manner, or can you fall into a more play style focused? I prefer this weapon in this stance. Maybe you have to change it by the boss type or something.
So the game opens up with you escaping the Tower of London. There's a whole big thing where they're talking about the war between England and France and how the Queen of England.
Because you're a white guy, aren't you a white guy in it?
I did not realize it was set there.
You are Tom Cruise. You are the last samurai.
The whole gimmick is like England and Spain are at war for world domination. The Queen of England has sought legendary power in the quote-unquote Far East because Marco Polo wrote of it in some tome during his travels, and you're theoretically an expert on these stones because you have a guardian spirit. When you break out of the Tower of London, a bald monk man shows up and steals your guardian spirit and is like, no, this is mine now, no waifu for you.
Is your guardian spirit basically like Asian Cortana?
She's the one you start with is it's like a water nymph type thing. But that's your whole inciting incident, is that you're trying to go back and get your guardian spirit back from this man who stole her with a crystal.
Got it.
At any given, so once you get out of the Tower of London point, the game gives you, an opening set of decisions to make. What do you want your primary weapon to be? What do you want your secondary weapon to be? Because you will swap between the two, and that sets your stat layout accordingly. Like I picked Kusarigama as my main weapon, so that increases my dexterity. And then I picked dual katana as my secondary, and that increases my skill. And then
filthy dex user. Get out of here.
Yeah, of course. I like fast things.
Well, this game, however, I feel like is, from everything I've seen and known about it, and as a kind of character action game would imply, speed feels like is way more viable and central.
I mean, the Tower of London opening bit gives you a decent, touchstone for, I think you can find swords, axes, and spears, because it's London. And axes are your strength weapon, and, they definitely hit hard and feel good when you hit with them. But of the Tower of London bits, I definitely gravitated towards spears for reach.
Spears and reach things are always good when you're just kind of dipping your toes in, getting the feel for something. Yeah. Little safety net.
I definitely died a couple times in the Tower of London because I was getting used to
How do they deal with death?
Well, in the Tower of London portion in particular, you just reset it wherever your last prayer house or opening area.
But
I didn't die until I hit.
Do you lose currency or
in the
XP
opening area? You don't, because there's just nothing to you're not leveling up.
Yeah.
When you die after that point, you drop all your, I think it's Amarita, which is the magic stones, and then they're sitting there on the ground for you to pick up. And then if you die again, they're gone.
Is there a difficulty setting?
So you do have leveling up, similar to a Souls game. I've tried to right now balance out leveling up because each thing you can level impacts multiple stats. So you can increase just your health, or if you and that'll say increase it 50, or if you increase say your dexterity, it'll increase your health by 10, your dexterity, your skill, and something else will all get a small benefit out of it. So I've been trying to balance out health management, key management, and then my two main damage stats. But it was yesterday afternoon where I started to finally get the feel for staying in on a fight instead of doing a couple swipes and then backing out.
How's the visuals?
It's fine. I mean, it's a PS4 game first and foremost. When it comes to PS5, you get 3 different settings. You get a PS5 specific standard mode, a 4K mode, and then 120 mode, and I'm playing it on 4K.
On Pro, what does that give you for frames?
Couldn't tell you offhand. Don't think it tells me directly.
Does it feel closer to 60 or 30?
Feels smooth enough. I haven't noticed anything.
Would you recommend it to either of us?
I mean, I'm not far enough in to give a definitive
but with that caveat in mind, but off of first vibes, kind of. Have you fought a first boss yet?
I mean, I beat the first boss in the Tower of London. I beat my first yokai, which is right before the checkpoint that I hit where I stopped yesterday. There's a lot there. There's a lot to understand. There's a whole set of skill trees for each weapon on top of what you're just getting for basic weapon, your skill upgrades. You're also getting they call them samurai points, where you can go through and be like, oh, I want to learn how to grapple with my Kusarigama, let me unlock that, and then you use it more and you master it, which makes it better. So it's got a lot of more RPG element to it than straightforward Souls-like.
Yeah, there's elements to it that have made me hesitant to engage with it, just because of it seems like a lot of systems. Seems like I don't know how I feel about the mission structure. Haven't loved the visual elements of it. It seems kind of dark and muddy and not as visually appealing. I gotta say, the last trailer that the most recent one that they showed for Nioh 3 did not have me interested at all. I was just the type of thing where, again, can't tell what's happening, what's going on. It is both trying to be to have a realism element of it, but then is still kind of over the top in its monster design. It kind of wants to have it both ways and doesn't commit one way or the other. It feels kind of, I don't know, it's stylized, but in a style that I don't like. I can't say anything more than that. But I don't know. It's it is a particular sub-genre that I want to explore more of. And obviously I own it already, so I kind of feel obligated to at least try it. But I don't know. It's sitting at the back end of my shelf, of my to-play shelf currently. And I don't know if I've got enough to push me forward, but I'll be interested to see how your opinions continue to take shape as you keep playing. Maybe it'll move up. If you say it's peak, then, you know, as the Souls-like sensei, you know, of the comrades here, I'll have to take that input seriously. But if it's just kind of it's okay, then I don't know.
I mean, I will say so far, at least from an area layout perspective, it's more open than Strangers of Paradise was. Strangers of Paradise tended to be more follow the path, follow the path, follow the path, here's the end. You still have
from the level design perspective. I like the visual style of Stranger of Paradise much more, though. And maybe that's just because
it's also a newer game.
But it's also just because of my familiarity with, you know, Final Fantasy creatures and stuff like that, I guess, is probably a factor.
Yeah, because, I mean, Stranger of Paradise gives you a mini-map up in the corner to follow. This has like a radar dot.
How's the loot system? That's the other thing.
There's a fuck ton of loot.
Yeah, that's the.
It's Diablo-like in that sense.
Is there a function in Stranger of Paradise where you can just do just optimize it for me? I've chosen their job or whatever, and here just press this button. Give me what's the optimized loot for this.
I haven't checked that yet because I've kind of been.
That is actually I totally forgot about it, but that's one of the big things. Like, yes, this piece of loot gives you plus 0.7% to headshot damage. Like, fuck me. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a whole bunch of things that it's just like it's trying to do a whole lot. Is what makes me uncertain about it. But I hope you enjoy it because that'll maybe give me more reason to check it out.
I mean, this was supposed to be my year of the Samurai Souls. I've done Sekiro with the Platinum this year. Ghost of Tsushima with the Platinum this year. So this would be the next man up.
Yeah, so circling back to Ghost of Yotei and Ghost of Tsushima, it did feel a little funny as I'm thinking about how this episode's going to go. So we're off next week, and then we've got a news episode the week after. But then the week after that, we are going back and doing a Ghost of Tsushima episode. That, again, scheduling just didn't work out perfectly. In an ideal world, we would have done the Ghost of Tsushima episode in preparation for Yotei, but whatever. We're doing it backwards. It was easy. It was an easy slot in because, it's somewhat topical, and we've all already played it. So didn't have to anybody else have to squeeze anything into their schedules. We'll see how that one plays in just a few weeks. But any other games that anybody wanted to talk about quickly? The only other one that I played was Batman Arkham City. And I will, I guess, end the episode with the controversial statement that I thought it kind of sucked. Didn't love it. Asylum clears by far. Still excited for the Lego Batman.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played a couple other small things. I was playing I had a bunch of things of the single session type stuff to clear out from my backlog, but nothing really kind of worth discussing. Anything else from anybody?
I'm just a ninja.
All right. Shinobi styling. All right, folks. Well, we'll be off next week. We'll have to see if there's some news coverage that's worth making a YouTube video on, or we'll do something about that. Maybe we'll dive into the world of Final Fantasy astrology in that episode. We'll see. Who knows? But I think that's it for till next time. You can follow us on all the social medias, find the latest clips of all our recent episodes and videos, and I think that'll do it. We will see you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.